Hey everyone, coming back to the YouTubes with a fresh new training video for you here. Hope you like Summon the Gainer 3. Been posting a little bit infrequently, took some time off to vacation with my family, hang out at the house, spend some time with the wife, the kiddo, even had a chance to go to Virginia and visit my brother, and you'll see some of that footage later on at the end of this video. What you're seeing now though is some training, some squats, and you'll see mostly T2 and T3 work. What you just saw there was a little bit of the T1 work. I've been doing this UHF style training setup, so nothing's ever quite fresh. And on this day, it was mostly lower body and back directed work with just a little bit of pressing involved, because the day after this, I was doing a lot more benching. So when I'm doing that UHF setup, I'm making sure that I'm not having a T1 bench day followed up with another T1 bench day, even like if it was slingshot or something, I guess. So this T2 and T3 work on my lower body day is, like I said, mostly back and legs, some pressing. And since I want to lose a little bit of weight, I want to get a little bit more cut, a little bit more shredded. Don't we all? Thinking about that future well in advance, that summer. Nice, warm Colorado summers. It's going to be glorious. It's going to be beautiful. It's going to be stunning, and I'll be shredded. So in order to do that, look at all these supersets. I swear, CrossFit just stole supersets and called them workouts of the day, and put, complex movements in there, not isolation movements like in bodybuilding. So this is the first round of my 5 rounds through this superset of squats, pull-ups, landmine press. And while not measuring my performance strictly by time, I was keeping track of some time because I did want to make sure I was moving through these movements within the superset relatively quickly, measuring my rest time to be about 2 to 3 minutes on average between supersets. Now that's a long period of rest. That's something that, if we were to compare this to a CrossFit WOD, really not necessarily the same thing, because I want to have a long amount of rest, so each time I do the superset, I can execute it as powerfully and as fast as possible. So this is the last one. You can see after 5 of these rounds or supersets of squats, pull-ups, and then landmine press, I'm still doing this pretty quickly. That's 255 pounds on the bar, 80 pounds on the landmine press. I'm doing 5, 5, and then 10. So it's a total of 25 squats, 25 pull-ups, and 50 landmine presses. So that's the T2 superset there. Not all of these are loaded exactly like a T2, but it's a T2 superset because the first movement in the superset is a T2. That's kind of how I'm categorizing this. This is kind of a preview into some things to come later on down the line. I haven't got a timeline on release, but I will be putting out some more information related to endurance and cardiovascular training and barbell complexes and circuit training and all that sort of glorious conditioning type work that I actually really enjoy doing. Touched on it a long time ago in a blog that's linked below called Conditioning Barney Style. It's pretty good and alludes to a lot of this sort of stuff. So this here is a T3 superset. I call it T3 superset because the movement, again, that first one, the bench press, is T3 weight. That's 165 pounds on the bar, and I'm doing 8, 12, 16 of bench, then the landmine row, and then kettlebell swing. So leading with that bench press, here only doing 2 pressing type movements on my UHF setup because, like I said earlier in the video, the next day I was going to be doing some bench, and I think I worked up to a bunch of sets, 8 sets of 2 with 265, backed off to 3 sets of 6 with 225. Those were max rep sets, then some legs up bench. So a very heavy bench day followed this up. So that's why there's very limited pressing on this, a lot more back and posterior chain work, as well as those squats in that T2. Had some requests to show some of this type of footage, so that's what you're seeing there. And what you're about to see is the vacation bonus footy. Hope you enjoy. So here I am with my brother. We're gonna go into the National Museum of the Marine Corps, take you along with me, take some pictures of cool stuff. First time I've been here? First time you've been here?
Yes.
So this is gonna be a good time.
The French general orders a counterattack on June 6th. The Marines' mission seized Belleau Wood. On the left flank, Major Benjamin Berry.
We've discussed already why we had to have Iwo Jima at whatever cost, the strategic importance of Iwo Jima. And the theory was that if we could do that, we could save a lot of lives. The cost of taking Iwo Jima was very, very high, 17,000 casualties, of which approximately 6,000 Marines were killed. And so the strategy didn't work. It didn't.
Third platoon that's getting hit up there now, isn't it, Sergeant? Is it true help ain't coming? Steady yourself, Marine. Corman, over here! We need a Corman! Grenade! What the hell? There was rifle fire.
I've asked the United States Veterans Salvation Conference with the full knowledge and approval of President Xi. He's both generous and silent. An agreement.
On behalf of the commanding officer of the basic school, congratulations to our newly appointed warrant officers. This concludes our ceremony. Thank you for joining us this morning.